What's up, guys? We are back once again, and I want to do another series review, even though the series is currently ongoing. And I just want to go ahead and say that yes, I am a fan of Big Bang Theory. If you guys don't already know, yes, I am. And I do like the show to a certain degree, but at the same time, I do have my issues. And what you're seeing on your screens is obviously Young Sheldon. So, again, Young Sheldon is one of those shows that I feel is kind of controversy in a way, because not only does it show a lot of how Sheldon makes fun a lot of his upbringing, with not only his mother being a religious fanatic, but also with the way his father was, the way his siblings are, the way his grandmother was. And it's kind of interesting on how it does. Now, I will say there are some fun moments in this, but also there's just times, not really saying it's cringe, but it's either boring slash you really just don't care. Because there's times where I will say the one that plays young Sheldon, that was a good pick for a younger version of Sheldon, especially the way he comes across. Same thing with who they got to play his mother and father. Now, again, I'm not a fan of the young Mary, because, again, I like older Mary because that's who we know. But this version of Mary is a very, I would say, kind of like a two-faced, kind of a snob, thinking that just because she goes to church that she's better than everybody else. And again, that does come around, especially if you live in the South, and also if you're very around that, and also that's how you're going to be. Now, again, if you're that way, you go to church, that's perfectly fine, as long as you don't pass your views on to someone else. You don't try to force them to do things that you don't want to do, or it's one of those things where don't try to force your ways onto another person. And that's pretty much what we see in the entirety of the show, is she's trying to force her beliefs onto her children that they really just don't believe, or they really don't care. Georgie has his views, Sheldon has his views, and Missy has her views. The only one that's major religious is their mother, and that is the main problem, I think, of the show, is that. And again, we do see a lot of things that's brought up into the show about George possibly cheating, slash him drinking all the time, him being a good dad, all the time. There's some health scares. Same things with Sheldon and his mom, so always being very close to his mom. Same thing with him being very close to his Meemaw, who is, of course, played by Annie Potts, which is absolutely hilarious. There's a lot of good and bad in this show, and it's one of those things where I could literally take it or leave it with young Sheldon. It's one of those, if it's on, I'll kind of just randomly watch, but it's one of those shows I'm not going to just drop and go watch it, because it's not like, oh, I can't miss it. That's the way I feel about this, because I don't feel that Young Sheldon is one of those shows where you have to just sit down, put your phone down, and watch and pay attention to every single detail. It's one of those shows where you could always go back on and go, hey, I remember watching that, or I remember this moment or that moment. Like I said, there are fun moments, there are good moments. Like, I think one of the moments I really liked was when Missy punched a kid that made fun of her brother because he got someone pregnant, and that, he's going to hell. And again, me being raised in the South, me being from the South, and having friends in that, I would say group, and knowing people in that group, and come across people in those groups, those do come across to be very stuck-up snobs, and I'm just going to say that straight up, and that's how they are. They think they're better than everybody else, because you think if you go to church and you do this and that you're going to be saved. I mean, everyone has their decisions, everyone has their life choices, and no matter what you do, we're all going to meet our Maker at the end of the day, and that's how I feel about that. So again, I'm not trying to make this about religion, I'm just saying how I feel about the show. Again, they're going to put that in there because, again, the show takes place in Texas, and Texas is a very strong base of not only Christian, but Catholic, and among many other religions in the world that are shown in Texas, and especially around this time period. So overall, I think the show is okay, but at the same time, it's one of those I can take it or leave it. But I do enjoy Young Sheldon from time to time. There's some funny comments from their dad, or from Sheldon, or from Georgie, or even from Missy. So there are some moments that I can just laugh, and I can kind of crack up and enjoy, and kind of go, hey, that's funny, or kind of, whatever. Kind of just take it or leave it, like I said. But overall, what is the overall stance of Young Sheldon, guys? Do you guys still watch it? Do you think it's great? Do you think it sucks? Do you think it's okay? What is your overall thoughts of this show? Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments down below. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, leave a big fat like on the video if you guys enjoyed. And as always, I'm seeing you on the very next one.